Previously on HankArt. And so, as I stop a moment to take a breath, I look around and realized there's really nothing left to do. I mean, it's not done, but I could get to work. So, let's get to work. So here it is, the first saw cut of my YouTube woodworking career. Is it wobbly? Amateurish? Maybe. Unsafe? Yes, but I lived. Auspicious? Well, let's see how it goes. My original plan was to construct the bench out of scrap wood that I had lying around, so I ended up patching together a lot of smaller pieces for the legs. Some of them will be constructed out of 2x, some laminated 1x. Alright, we'll see how this glue up goes. I clamped everything down and applied some percussive persuasion to make sure everything was seated tightly. And, after double-checking the instructions on the glue bottle, left my first leg to rest until it cured. Here I am cutting down the 1x stock. It's already finished because it was supposed to be shelves, but that project was abandoned long, long ago. This bench will have been the first piece of furniture I've ever built, and also the first tool. I find wood glue to be pretty amazing stuff. I've only been working with it for a little while. But wow, this stuff glues wood. It does exactly what it says on the tin. I've done woodworking in the past, but always a project here and a project there. Never as an ongoing learning pursuit. I'm fully prepared to find out that I'm overdoing it on the glue. I'd rather overdo it than underdo it. I'm kind of considering this workbench to be a final project in my life as a naive woodworker. Okay, I'm just making it worse at this point. Okay, it's Tuesday, and it's raining. And I have only one goal today, and that is to finish this workbench. So let's get to it. Hi. So I've got my legs cut. Next step is to connect them with these crossbeam pieces, and then this X shape to make a trestle. So I gotta make 2 of those. In this design, I've got 2x for my aprons, but my actual aprons are gonna end up being 3/4 inches. So if I want it 2 feet wide, and the aprons are 3/4 inches each, that's 1.5 inches. But 24 inches minus 1.5 inches is 22.5 inches. All right, let's do it. Where can I go that I will get the whole shop? You know, there's not really a reason that I have to have the table saw so far up front. But maybe that's something for another day. All right. 22.5. That's what we decided, right? What do you want? Where did the combination square go? There it is. Right in front of us. This is my waist. Oh, that is not square. I'm going to use this horrible thing. There we go. That'll do it. Viewer, you and I both know what past Hank is slowly coming to realize, and that's that the idea that he can finish this workbench today is folly. It is a grievous error. First thing I make after I finish this workbench is going to be some shop infrastructure stuff, including a good crosscut sled, because this is ridiculous. A cross-cut sled would indeed be helpful here, as you'll soon see. This face is going to be the inside face of the leg. It's going to be toward the inside of the bench. So which of these do I want to be outside? Probably this. These lined up like I like them. Like that. These are not the same length. That is something I will have to deal with. That's correct. All right. Alright, let me clamp these so it doesn't move. And yes, this board is not completely flat. It's okay. That's going to go like that. I've got my combination square set here, and I'm using it as just sort of a visual guide of how I want to keep my drill. It's time for the liquid nails, which means it's time for the caulk gun, which is here. All right, I don't think I have ever worked with construction adhesive before. There we go. There's two. This is on the inside, right? Yeah, it's leaning that way and it's on here. Okay, good. Excellent. Let's do that again. Okay, what's up? That's one. Oh no, that's wrong. Oh, I put it on the wrong side. This is supposed to go on the inside, not the outside. Oh well. Okay, so here's where I'm at so far. I think this is going to be the front side. Next step is the cross braces. It's filming. Right. Okay. Handsaw. Under the pile, of course. Good place for it. Excellent. Let's put these. Okay, so things are progressing slowly. I got about 20 minutes left today where I can still run power tools politely. So that's good, because really I only got one set of important cuts left to make, and the rest can be done with the handsaw. So let's get to work on cutting the skirts. These are 2 skirts. They are cut longer than 60 inches because I just rough cut them with the circular saw. So I'm going to tape them together with double-sided tape and then cut them together as a unit. This is Duck brand double-sided duct tape. And I found it sucks a little bit. It's advertised as being mounting tape. But let me tell you, I don't find it fit for that purpose at all. Okay. Let's do our markup first of all. There's... It's really raining outside. I guess I already said that. That's where our edge is going to be. That's where our other edge is going to be. Wow! To get our other shape, we're going to come just 4 inches up this side. So, right there. Okay, let's start with this cut. I see now the value of having a lower bench. Not even necessarily low, just lower. When I built this thing, I was going for kitchen counter height. That's what I modeled it on. Let me tell you, a little too tall. Okay, excellent. Now how are we going to do this next cut? Okay, so let's assume, let's not assume, let's measure. Do I have 60 inches here? I do have exactly 60 inches. Excellent. So, if I come in 6 inches, like that, come up 4 inches from there, starting from right there. Right on the money. Excellent. We're almost home. Okay. Okay. That's all right. I'll just have to do it the old-fashioned way. knot was Y. Okay. Next time I take a really simple design and decide, oh, I'm going to change this up and give it some visual flair, remind me to smack myself. Well, this has certainly been made a mess of. Okay, here we are again, working on this workbench. Let me show you how far I got last night. The legs are done. The top pieces are cut to size, and the skirts are cut out and ready to go on. So that's my next step. Attach the skirts and get this thing standing up. Okay. The skirt, and by extension the top of the bench, is attached to the leg assemblies by long carriage bolts. I'm going to do the front first. And so, the next step is to get everything in position, and then drill those long holes to accept the carriage bolts. Alright, that looks about right. That looks about right. Okay. This is it. This side's going to be the front. And I'm going to line this up with the top edge of this crossbeam. That's where the surface of the bench is going to be. I've got it even. Yes. I think I'm going to want to bring the legs in a little bit. Maybe half a leg thickness, maybe a whole leg thickness worth. Where'd that piece of charcoal go? Seems like okay. Okay. That's right. Let's say that's about right. Let's say that's about right. Yes, I'm going to have to do some trimming at the top of these legs. That's okay though. How to trisect a segment. Okay. So this is AB. Check out my compass. All right, how do we do this? All right, draw a ray AC. Then draw a circle centered on C that goes through A. Excellent, all right. Then the point on the ray AC where that circle crosses is D. That's what I had wrong before. Draw a circle centered at D that goes through C. which should be the same radius, and it is. And the point where that crosses AC is E. So now if I draw lines parallel to C and D and E, that will trisect AB. So let's try it. Oh, I'm a genius. Yeah. Yeah, check that out. I did math and it worked. Next step, I gotta find my carriage bolts. This ridiculous disorganization is not going to last forever. I can't wait to have a place where things go. That's going to be such a relief. So I don't have to keep doing this all the time. There we go. How big is this bad boy? 3/8, and these are 3/8 by 7. Excellent. So these should be exactly the same size. Yes. Let's do a little clampy. Is that gonna fit? Yes. Just keep things like this. Okay, it's coming along. Let me get 7-inch carriage bolts, because this entire project is over-engineered, that's why. All right. It's not falling over on me. Not yet. So, that's a good sign. Maybe I should... It's gonna. I know it's gonna. As soon as I turn my back. So I'm just gonna stick one of these through here. All right. A wrench. Do 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 do. Where is it? Do do. Bum 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 bum. Bum. Do need a wrench right now. Every single thing in the world. There we go. Look at that. Not perfect, but a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. We can shim it up once it's in place. I hate adjustable wrenches. I've never trusted adjustable wrenches, and I never will. I can never forgive them for the death of my boy. I'm happy with that. All right, let's do the other side. Oh, okie. Ow! Earring protection when hammering. Ow! That was unpleasant. Alright, let's get this other side placed. Jeez, oh Pete. Ow! So, I'll go for it. And then I get the so I think it'll really take. That is helpful. Okay, that gives us a little bit of play. Pocket. Drill. Drill, drill, drill. Where's the drill? There it is. All right. Next thing I gotta do is trim the top of the legs flat. This is not a pretty cut. That's okay. No one's ever going to see it. Except for you and me. do slightly feel like this is a job I should have been using a plane for. But I don't have a plane with a sharp iron right now. So, that's going to be a solution for future problems. You know what I do have, though? One of these bad boys. So let's see if I can't just bring this down a little bit. Clean that up just a little. Hey, it's working! And the bench is being pretty stable, so I am obviously not using the proper chisel technique because I've been going at it for 30 seconds and I'm already exhausted. So, future thing to learn, how to use chisels correctly. Because this ain't it. I think that's pretty good. I think we're ready to move on to the next step, which means putting this bench in place where it's going to go, which is here across from the built-in. So, cut. Project report. Here's where we're at. The bench is standing up under its own power. Here's what I have left to do. I've got one cross beam on one side. I got to put another one on the other side. I decided to do cross beams instead of the diagonal braces because I want to put a shelf on the bottom. Other than that, I've just got to put in the key and the ribs and do a little bit of reinforcement and put the top on. So, let's get started. I've got to the point where I can actually use the workbench as a workbench. This worked so well for the other stretcher. Okay, that's a that operation complete. Hey! Yeah, that's not wide enough. That's okay then. After nearly chopping my hand off with the hatchet, I decided to stick with my handsaw and low sawhorses when removing waste from the key. Alright, let's take a look at what we got. Looks like I need to take about 1/16 of an inch off the sides. Pretty good dry fit. Next is to put the ribs in. Okie dokie. I'm constructing my ribs by laminating these 1x pieces because I've got them left over from a shelving project from a billion years ago. So, I've got to do a little bit of glue up work. Luckily, I have a ton of clamps. I can't wait for this workbench to be a workbench. I bought a whole box of nitrile gloves to use when I do glue up, so I don't get glue all over my hands. And where are they? They're in the house. Okay. Note to future Hank, get a big jar or something to put earplugs in. Alright, let's start by making these cuts. Okay. That's not just going to come out like the other one did. Keep your hands out of the way of the chisel, Hank. Not chisel your fingers. Yeah. That's going to just barely fit. Okay, good. May have to widen that just a tiny bit. I'm not super confident in the squareness of this square. It was a cheapo. I will probably upgrade at some point. At some point, I'm going to have to talk about philosophies of tool acquisition. Maybe I'll talk about that a little now. There is the old adage, buy once, cry once. This is certainly the philosophy I was taught in art school. Don't get cheap supplies, get the real stuff, and learn on the real stuff. And that way, you won't have to relearn the characteristics of expensive art supplies, and you won't have to teach yourself twice. Which, I get the point of, but it can lead to a lot of expense right up front. Adam Savage talks about a strategy for acquiring tools where he says, get the cheap one first, learn how to use it real well, figure out how it fits into your workflow, and then if you find you have a place for it, then get the expensive one, which is sort of the approach I've been taking. Excellent. Hey! There we go. Whoa. Wobble, 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 wobble. The next step was to cut these blocks that serve to brace the top assembly against the legs. They get attached to the inside of the skirts, creating a notch that the leg assemblies slot into. I cut these with the bevels going the wrong way around the first time. Oopsies. Am I going to get through this project on one tube of construction adhesive? Let us find out. Feels like it. The point of these is they're going to be connected to the skirt, but butted up against the trestles of the legs so that they create sort of a slot for the legs to fit in. One of the whole points of this design is that it's a knockdown design. I could disassemble this bench if I wanted to. God, I hope I never have to. Holy moly, that worked! Okay, that job's done. And at long last, now the only thing left is to put the top on. Okay. That's not going to do it all. Obviously, the support surface that the top was supposed to rest on wasn't quite flat. So, since I didn't have a plane that was set up and reliable at the time, that meant breaking out the sander to take down the high spots. Okay. Now, at the end of all things, after the hurly-burly is done, after the battle is lost and won, I can put the top on this stupid bench. You're not stupid, I love you. All right, home stretch. Let's finish this thing. All that's left to do is put the rest of the top on and secure it down, and then flatten it and add a small chamfer. Whoa, uh-oh. Oh well, it'll still look good. That's unfortunate. Oh, Gesundheit. Oh. I'll just have to do one here, and then, yeah, do it that way. There we go. Excellent. That's the top on. Hope you're having fun. Man, band on the run. Man on the run. A different song. Here I'm setting up a straight edge for my circular saw to trim the ends of the bench even. And here I am freehanding it on the other side, for some reason. My grandmother was a maker her entire life. She was a quilter. And whenever the piecing didn't go exactly according to plan, she'd always say the same thing. It'll quilt out. It's part of what Adam Savage refers to as hiding crimes. I used a straight edge to find the high spots on the bench top, then used a plane to knock them down. The resulting top was flat enough. Now I want to put a chamfer on the edge of this bench all the way around, just for fun, and along this lower edge. Still not quite done. Got a few finishing touches left to make. I want to put the shelf in. Eventually my plan is to add a crochet on this side and a vise on that side, of course. Maybe an end vise if I can figure out a way to do it gracefully. Definitely I want a craft paper dispenser. That's probably going to go on this side. And of course, I've got to even up the sides. I've got to flush cut this. So no, I'm not nearly close to done yet. But all of the hard stuff is done, I think. Let's get a shot of it from the front. I'm very proud of this. Like I said, I'm not done yet. But this bench is going to be a work in progress for a long time. Here's the bench after a few weeks of use. I did put that chamfer around the edge, makes it very comfortable. I also added the Harbor Freight face vise. Had to sacrifice some of the skirt to get it on, but c'est la vie. I also fitted an aluminum plane stop that I made from some scrap left over from, well, something or other. I learned so much over the course of this build that I kind of wanted to start it again as soon as I finished, but I resisted that urge. It's on to the next thing. I hope you join me, and thank you for watching.